Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Arena for JV Boys Basketball Competition. Please welcome our guests from Jones High School. They are the Tigers. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Starting on the court for Jones, number 4, Tyrell Anderson. Number 5, Dante Fillmore. Number 10, Asion Cobb. Number 11, Amarian Hall. And number 21, Jamari Ivory. For the Mustangs, starting on the court, number 2, Jermaine Hardy Jr. Number 3, Aaron Preston. Number 11, Pete Lewis. Number 21, Adonis Davis. And number 23, Jalen Felix. And once again, a special welcome to those of you joining us online. My name is Mark Barchi, voice of the Mustangs and sports information director here at Wekiva High School. I am joined tonight, as I have been always for the last 14 seasons, now 14 and a half, by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, ready to take you through a doubleheader tonight, starting with the JV game.
So, thank you again, Mark. As always, an excellent job of introducing our starting lineups. And as Mark just mentioned, this is junior varsity action. Stick around. We'll have varsity right after this game, about 15 minutes after the conclusion. Wekiva comes in with a 5-6 record.
Shot is not going to go for Anderson on the opening possession. Mustangs go the other way. We'll have to wait for the half-court set to get set up. Coming in from the side, would have been a block shot, but instead, Adonis Davis is called for traveling. Tigers ball.
And so we remain 0-0, early going. 30 seconds in, an interception by Davis.
Nice pass down the baseline, and it's Adonis Davis to Aaron Preston to put the Mustangs on the board. A little razzle-dazzle there to get things started, Neil.
Certainly that always makes any coach happy, seeing that defensive effort.
Pete Lewis is called on his first personal foul, the team's first.
So, of course, we are coming to you live from Mustang Arena on the southeast side of Apopka, Florida, Wekiva Mustangs home court. And they currently enjoy a 2-0 lead on an interception and a drive and pass along the baseline. We're going to get a foul with 7 minutes exactly remaining in the first quarter.
Illegal screen is called against Tyrell Anderson. His first personal foul, the team's first. That turns the ball over to the Mustangs. So the Tigers now have a couple of turnovers in the books against them.
Wekiva with possession in the white uniforms. Of course, Jones in their traditional orange green uniforms with the orange trim in numbers. This is Hardy at the top of the key with the dribble.
Getting to the paint, to the baseline. Shot by Felix won't go. Felix working hard under the basket to get the board, but it's going to be a foul, probably against him. And it is. Foul is called against Mustangs number 23, Jalen Felix. That's his first personal foul, the team's second.
So Jones dodging the proverbial bullet here in the early going. They've turned the ball over 3 times already.
Swatted into the stands by Pete Lewis.
But nonetheless, they've still managed to trail by only a deuce. 2-0 is the score. We're 1:37 into this ball game, junior varsity action. And Wekiva with that lead, we're going to get a timeout called by Jones.
30-second timeout requested by the Tigers. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi and Neil Fisher here for the JV contest. A little bit of a slow start here. Tigers have a couple of turnovers, still looking to put some points on the board. 6:15 remaining in the first period, and we return from their timeout with a tray attempt from Amarian Hall that bounces out, and the rebound goes to Aaron Preston.
And Wekiva in the white uniforms with the possession will come back the other way. That's Hardy at the top.
Loses his dribble, but manages to get some help from Pete Lewis. He'll go back to the corner with Hardy. Tigers doing a good job of putting pressure on the Mustangs, preventing them from getting any inside traction. Hardy does get to the paint, but is promptly blocked by Anderson. Will stay with the Mustangs, though, in the corner.
Yeah, rejected, or if you prefer, rebuffed by that good Jones defense. Again, Jones has turned the ball over 3 times, but trailing only 2-0.
Yeah, offensively they have struggled, but defensively there's not a lot to criticize about their performance. Wekiva got the one up on them with one really smart baseline pass, a bounce pass that turned into a layup. Other than that, Wekiva has not been able to penetrate this wall. There comes a wild floater that is not going to go. Putback's not there for Felix either. And the tallest guy on the court, Tyrell Anderson, comes down with the rebound.
Jones in the orange-green uniforms with possession. Now down in the left corner as we approach 5 minutes in the first quarter. And so again, Wekiva comes in with a 5-6 record. They lost their last game Friday night. Looking to rebound from that loss. And this is junior varsity action. Pass dropped through the interior, but great
swatted
hands.
Away by Pete Lewis, but it will stay with the Tigers.
Great anticipation by the defense, Wekiva defense. Inbound pass over to
Fillmore, not able to get it to go from the corner. Put back, not there either for Cobb, and the rebound is going to go to Aaron Preston. Tries to get it coast to coast, but loses his dribble with a little help from Cobb. Mustangs will try to set up, and looks like Hardy is going to get called here for carrying Tigers ball.
Hardy pounded the rock a little too hard. That caused it to come up higher above his shoulders, and by then you got a carry going on.
DeJohn Joyner checks into the game for the Mustangs.
So Jones with possession of the ball in the green uniforms. They will bring it up full court, man-to-man, being played by instructor.
Oh, that
Coach
was
Hardy.
A poor decision right there. Joyner had easy pickings. Bounce pass in transition, waits his turn, and there it is. Aaron Preston from Jermaine Hardy Jr. That's textbook right there, transition play.
Yeah,
Not sure what Jones was thinking on that pass. Not sure what they were thinking on that one either, as Cobb throws the ball out of bounds. Mustangs ball. So turnovers continuing to plague the Tigers in the opening 4 minutes here.
Yeah, up to 5 minutes, and on the possession in which Wekiva scored its last points and took that 4-0 lead, as Mark said, great transition textbook, but it all started with the turnover. So Wekiva in the white, in the possession. The scoop by Preston, unable to get the kiss off the board.
Tigers try to get cute by going for a transition play that was coming in too hot, and Cobb couldn't bring it under control, ends up touching the backboard equipment with the ball. That's the equivalent of out of bounds, and so another turnover in the books for Jones.
Hardy brings the ball up for Wekiva. Couple of passes down into the corner. Lewis is going to try the middle, going straight up against Anderson, the tallest player. And
Pete Lewis draws the foul for the Mustangs. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Tigers foul is called against number 4, Tyrell Anderson. His second, the team's second.
So Pete Lewis will be shooting the ball for Wekiva, who also has a 4-0 lead. 3:38 remaining in the first quarter, so that means Jones has yet to score, and we're 4:22 into this ball game. Of course, as I always like to say, Wekiva's 4 points is nothing to write home about or attention getting, but certainly compared to no points scored by Jones yet, good enough for that lead. And now, of course, it's 5-0. Those were the first 2 free throws attempted in this game by either team. Jones with possession. Quick transition up the court. Hall no good off the court. And that's Preston with the rebound. He'll hand off to Hardy. And Wekiva will go to work with the 5-0 lead.
Well, they won't either. Hall picks off. Nearly gets down the court for a transition play. Jermaine Hardy Jr. prevents the fast break from going in. That'll give the Mustangs time to get down there and set up for the half court.
So Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi on the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network, coming to you live from Mustang Gymnasium. As Jones in the green uniforms, they will go to work with possession. This is Felix at the top of the key. Excuse me, that's Jones. So they're moving the ball on the perimeter, trying to get that quick shot down, trying to get that quick opening in the paint.
Yeah, Mustangs and Tigers both doing an excellent job of preventing penetration.
And we're going to get some penetration here, and that's Fillmore filling the lane.
Dante Fillmore down the baseline to put the Tigers on the board.
So that's the first deuce of the game by Jones. 5-2 is the score. 2:40 remaining in the first quarter. Hardy hands off, passes to Simon.
So looking at it one way, Wekiva has more than double the number of points that the Tigers have. Put another way, it's a one-possession game. Preston tries to get down the paint here, swatted away by the Tigers. Still be Mustangs' ball.
2.5 remaining.
Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 4, Kevin Baker.
Wekiva with possession of the ball. They are moving from left to right.
Oh, that was a poor
screen.
inbound there, and I think Jermaine Hardy underestimated how low that basket was. That'll be a turnover.
And so Jones will take over possession wearing the green uniforms, Wekiva in the white uniforms. Jones moving right to left. On your screen, we are live from Mustang Gymnasium under the triad of stampeding horses on that far wall. And Fillmore looking to drive.
Yeah, there's some contact there. I think it's going to get called for a block. Foul is called against Mustangs number 10, Joseph McRae, his first, team's third. At the line, shooting 2 for the Tigers, number 5, Dante Fillmore. So interesting, they're going to say he was going up there. Perhaps he was starting a motion toward the basket, and that's what the official saw. So 2 free throws from the charity stripe, and Fillmore drains the first.
Nice stroke from Fillmore, cuts the lead to 5-3. And now all 3 points for Jones have been scored by Fillmore. He won't get the second. Scramble underneath that basket. Great effort and hustle.
Yeah, Simon barely manages to avoid going out of bounds, manages to reel it in and put the brakes on. Mustangs will get that rebound to the corner. Not there for Baker. Rebound to Fetty Hills.
And Jones will come up with possession of the ball. 2 minutes remaining, just under 2 minutes. As that's Cobb with the dribble, he sets the offense. Hands off to Hall. Hall extended right. Picks up the loose ball.
Had a good look there from the paint.
Go.
Floater's not there.
And Jones will maintain possession of the ball. 1:36 remaining in the first quarter. 5-3 is the score. Wekiva has led from start to first. Obviously, a defensive struggle with only 8 points in total being scored at this point. Inbound to Sanchez. He's going to drive the lane.
He gets, stuffed by Jermaine Hardy. Manages to pull it in for his own rebound, though. And we'll go back out and reset the play.
Cobb looking to hand the ball off to Sanchez. Some hero defense, but nonetheless, kissed the board in a
Sanchez to Hall for 2.
So 5-5. Wekiva had a 5-0 lead, and Jones has since scored 5 consecutive points to tie this. An opportunity for 7 as they pick up the loose ball off that turnover. Down into the corner for Cobb. No.
Rebound to Jermaine Hardy Jr. Tries to go coast to coast. Can't get the layup on target, though. Cobb does go coast to coast. That's Acion Cobb with a Tiger dunk.
And 42 seconds remaining in the first quarter as Wekiva takes possession, but they are now trailing 7-5. Jones on a 7-0 streak.
Hardy loses his dribble, and it's picked up. Easy layup opportunity for Fillmore, but can't get it to go. And the Mustangs, who had such an impregnable defense for the opening 5-6 minutes of this game, have suddenly started to crack. Cobb with the tray. Not there. Rebound goes to the Tigers on the O board. And this time they are going to say The ball touched the backboard equipment. That's the equivalent of out of bounds. Mustangs ball.
So Wekiva will take over possession of the ball, and they will just under 9 seconds to work with, trailing 7-5. And that is
an
Simon.
Air ball for Simon.
And so that air ball is how the first quarter will end. Again, a 7-0 run by Jones, and they go 7-5 in the lead at the end of the first quarter.
We'll be right back. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the second quarter. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, ready for the second quarter in a low-scoring game that the Mustangs led until about the last 60 seconds. And now the Tigers are on a little bit of a run, and they'll get a turnover here in their favor.
Yeah, again, that 5-0 lead taken by Wekiva was predicated on turnovers. Jones committed 5 of them in the first 4 minutes or so. Since then, Wekiva has now committed 5 as well, and Jones has scored 7 points since then. Looking at the field goals, neither team shooting the ball particularly well. As a matter of fact, they're on the poor side. Wekiva 2 of 10, and Jones actually 3 of 15. So they've actually taken 5 more. And of course, the more field goals you make, the more opportunity to score, certainly playing out on the board with that 2-point lead. As we approach 7 minutes remaining, Jones slowing down the pace. With possession of the ball, Jones in the green uniforms with the orange numbers. That's their traditional. That basket would not have counted.
We're going to get a push here, I think, against the Mustangs. Push called against Mustangs number 24, Demir Simon. His first, the team's 4th.
And Wekiva coming in, again with the white uniforms with the maroon numbers. They are looking to even their record at 6-6.
30-second timeout called by the Mustangs. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, ready to take you through the last 7 minutes. Mustangs not happy with the way that the second quarter was shaping up so far. Coach Carty taking a quick time out there. And boy, that one came off with style. Dante Fillmore from the key for 2. So that puts the Tigers on a 9-0 run since about 3 minutes or so left in the first quarter. And we're going to get a foul here.
And 9-5 is the score.
Foul called against number 33, Fetty Hills on the block. That's his first, the team's 3rd. At the line, shooting 2 for the Mustangs, number 10, Joseph McCray.
So McCray looking for his first points of the game. And as Mark mentioned, Jones on a 9-0 run. And that free throw does bring that run to an end. 9-6, 6:35 remaining in the first half. Wekiva looking to even the record at 6-6. And that was Cobb doing the work under the boards, coming up with the rebound, and Jones now has possession, looking to up that lead from 9-6. Fillmore with the dribble at the top of the key, hounded by Lewis. Has to get rid of it. The pass back to Cobb. And from the tray, extended right, no good. Fillmore. Ball clinks off the front of the rim. Ball goes out of bounds, and with 6:08 remaining, Jones will maintain possession.
Yeah, McCray tried to pull in that rebound, but his body was already touching the end line when he did that. So that'll be a team offensive rebound for the Tigers.
9-6 is the score, 6:08 before halftime. Jones with possession, taking the shot.
Felix for three, not there. And we're going to get a loose ball foul on the rebound. Foul is called against number 23, Jalen Felix, his second, the team's fifth.
Jones in the green uniforms with possession. Some good defense there by Wekiva getting their hands in, but Jones able to come up with the loose ball. And now they will go to work. Sanchez with the dribble at the top of the key.
And of course, coming up later tonight, we will have the varsity action as Jermaine Hardy punches the ball out of bounds. It'll stay with the Tigers. Varsity coming up later tonight against Jones. And then a little bit of a schedule update. No changes to the actual game schedule, but a change to our extracurricular activities coming up next week. And that is a change in senior night. Senior night was originally supposed to be a little bit later in the season, but now it is going to occur at the Freedom game, which is a makeup game, actually. That's a game that was supposed to happen earlier in the season, got postponed, now is scheduled for Monday, January 25th. It's a triple header at home, and that is when senior night will occur as the Mustangs pick up a steal here, and they convert the points. Pete Lewis steals two for the Mustangs.
So Lewis taking advantage of the Jones not valuing the ball, kisses the bank, and will come back the other way, almost a repeat. Hardy from the tray, off the front end of the rim, and some good work under the board by the Jones Tigers. And we will come back the other way. Jones holding a 9-8 lead with possession of the ball.
Mustang foul is called against number 11, Pete Lewis, his second, the team's sixth. And so, Neil, that means that the Tigers will enjoy the benefit of bonus for the remainder of the first half. Of course, 1-and-1 free throws shot in high school on the 7th, 8th, and 9th fouls of each half, and then 2 shot from the 10th and beyond. So that's the last freebie for the Mustangs.
And the bonus will be in effect for the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Backcourt violation called on the Tigers. Mustangs ball. That was Tariq Holliger.
So 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Jones will be in that bonus. A rather lengthy time as we are now under 5 minutes. And Jones has turned the ball over 3 of the last 4 times they've had possession.
Yeah, this has been a game of swinging momentum.
Yeah, and it's all been predicated with those turnovers. As we get the tray from the corner.
Well, it looked pretty good from here, but the basket thought otherwise.
Yeah, Davis kicks off the front, and Jones with possession. Try to get the baseline. That's Cobb trying to get that baseline drive going.
Foul is called against number 21, Adonis Davis. That's his first personal foul, the team's 7th, and that puts the Tigers into bonus. First, checking into the game for the Mustangs is number 1, DeJohn Joyner at the line, shooting 1-and-1, Asion Cobb.
So Cobb goes to the line with 2 points. He won't get that one, but doing work and kissing the board.
Tachi Timmons picks up 2 on the putback.
And so Jones now has an 11-8 lead, chance to up it here as Wekiva loses possession.
Scramble in the paint, and it's taken back by Jermaine Hardy Jr. Tries to go coast to coast himself, too hot on the layup attempt, and the rebound goes to Rafael Ray.
And so a lot of action and nothing on the board. Score remains 11-8 as we approach 4 minutes before halftime. High shot.
Yeah, the bank was way off for Cobb. Rebound picked up by Pete Lewis. 4 minutes to go, halfway through the second period. Mustangs have pulled this one back to within 3 after getting crushed between the late first quarter and early second quarter. We're going to get this one whistled off as we have a foul called against Tigers number 50, Tariq Holwiger. That's his first personal foul, the team's 4th.
Yeah, a 9-0 run by Jones not only erased a 5-0 lead that Wekiva took at the beginning of the game, but propelled them into a multiple possession lead.
Returning to the game for the Mustangs, number 21, Adonis Davis. Coming in for DeJohn Joyner. Mustangs narrowly avoid a backcourt violation there as Hardy figures out where he is on the court just in the nick of time. Gets to the edge of the paint, lets a short jumper go, and it's not there. Rafael Ray on the rebound. So going the other way, and Lewis got in the way of that one, but the Tigers pull it back under control. Jumper from Ray is wide left. Timmons on the rebound. Tigers will get another chance.
Another offensive rebound for Jones. That's 3 in this quarter. And Ivory's going to drive the lane, and Wekiva has none of it.
Preston on the steal, and too far. Davis got too close to the end line before he let that layup go and got instant ball return. Tigers are going to return the favor, though, as they give it back. Checking into the game for the Mustangs, number 24, Demir Simon.
So Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi bringing you junior varsity action from Mustang Gymnasium.
Larry Morris is into the game for the Tigers. And for a minute there, it looked like we were gathering for a timeout, but it looks like that was just an informal little huddle on the way back to action.
Yeah, so Wekiva takes over possession. They are trailing 11-8, 3 minutes before halftime. Hardy with the dribble. He's not going to be bothered to set up. He's going to drive and
contact on the shot. Foul called against Tigers, number 21, Jamari Ivory, his first. The team's 5th. That'll send the Mustangs to the free throw line. Shooting 2, number 2, Jermaine Hardy Jr.
So Wekiva only 2 of 6 at the line in this quarter, 3 of 8 in total.
Short on the first attempt.
And make that 3 of 9. So Wekiva can certainly look at those free throws in terms of why they are down 3. That's 6 points they've left on the table. Hardy does get the second, cuts the lead to 11-9. And Hardy, those were his first points of the game. Another turnover, swipe of the hand, and this is Hardy again going for the tray. Off the rim. Work underneath the board to get some rebounds, but no conversion. But
Pete Lewis is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Mustangs. A foul is called against Tigers. Number 32, Rafael Ray, his first personal foul, the team's 6th. So, Neil, that means now that both teams will enjoy the benefit of bonus for the remainder of the half. Tigers have a full set ready to come in here.
And Lewis converts that first free throw, cutting the lead to 11-10. He now has 4 points. 2:46 remaining before halftime. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, bringing you live junior varsity action. The first of 2 games tonight. Varsity, of course, will take to the court after the end of this game. And also, just want to acknowledge and give a thank you to our broadcast production students under the direction of Keith Dickerson. They're handling the video aspect of our broadcast. And now Jones with possession. They are not going to score. Blocked. We come down the other way. This is Lewis with the dribble. He's going to drive.
He's blocked it by Fetty Hills. And we're going to get a quick officials conference here to decide who touched it last. All right, the original call stands. Nope, I lied. It's overturned, so it'll be white ball. Mustangs get the ball at the opposing baseline, looking for an opportunity to throw it in.
Hardy throws it in.
Yeah, Coach Hardy wanted Joyner to go up there, but he was frankly too close to the end line, and now we're going to get a turnover. I think that was in the key.
So once again, turnovers really, in terms of statistics, the first and foremost storyline tonight.
Yeah, Joyner, or Davis comes back into the game for Joyner there.
8 turnovers for Wekiva, 10 for Jones.
Picked by Jalen Felix.
Make that 12 for Jones.
Lewis goes to Simon. Tries to get the dribble under control, gets back to Hardy. 2 minutes to go in the second. Hardy goes up the paint himself, and he swishes it. Jermaine Hardy Jr. on the Mustang layup.
The reverse in the bank.
And that's a go-ahead basket for Wekiva. Momentum pendulum is swinging the Mustangs' way lately here. Of course, the Mustangs would like that psychological boon of going into the locker rooms with the lead at halftime. Looks like it's going to be a close contest either way. Here comes a 12-foot jumper from from Hall. That's not there. Hall again. This time is blocked by Felix. And we have a Greco-Roman wrestling match going on for the rebound. It's going to be a held ball, possession Tigers.
As you said, Mark, went to a Greco-Roman wrestling match and a basketball game broke out. 1:37 remaining, 12-11 is the score. Wekiva in the lead. They just regained that lead. And Jones has possession of the ball. This is Hall looking to inbound the ball. Quick hands in there by Hardy.
Yeah, both teams really struggling with those end-lined inbounds. Hasn't gone well for either team the last couple times they've done it. And here we're going to get a foul.
And
foul is called against Tigers, number 33, Fetty Hills. That's his second personal foul, the team's seventh, and it puts the Mustangs into bonus. At the line, shooting 1-1, number 2, Jermaine Hardy Jr.
So Hardy, of course, he is the grandson of Coach Charles Hardy, who's the junior varsity coach. And Jermaine at the line with 3 points.
They'll make it 4.
That certainly will help Wekiva's free throw percentage. They've been shooting under 50%, and certainly you can look at the score and say they should be ahead by more. They've left 7 points on the table at the free throw line, and I'm sure that makes Coach Hardy a little bit easier in the stomach there, going 2 for 2. As we have 1:30 left, Wekiva go into a full court trap. Jones, excellent job of breaking some tic-tac-toe passing.
Tariq Hollinger from Omarion Hall.
And Howitzer finishing off that run down the court and cutting the lead to 14-13 in the meantime.
Nice pass, but Felix is just not able to get it to convert. It's a no call. Felix nearly gets a hold of the rebound, but yeah, Coach Hardy is disappointed in that. Two-handed rebound would have helped there.
And the end result of that hot potato for about 10 seconds, Hardy, Wekiva possession, and he will draw the foul. Great aggression to the basket.
Tigers foul is called against number 22, Caleb Laird. That's his first, the team's 8th. At the line, shooting 2 for the Mustangs, number 2, Jermaine Hardy Jr. So Hardy back to the free throw line once again.
Again, 5 points now. And about 12 seconds of hot potato action there. Both teams had their hands on the ball for about 6 different occasions, but were never able to really gain control.
And the Mustangs, who we were talking about, hit bonus about 4 minutes ago, have mostly behaved themselves. They've only picked up 1 foul since then, whereas the Tigers have caught up to them and more. 3 is not there for Laird, and it's going to go out of bounds. Referee says that it touched Davis last. Well, that's the initial call anyway. We'll see what the conference reveals.
So 41 seconds remaining. Jones in the green uniforms with the orange numbers. They will not maintain the rest.
No, they said Davis did not touch it, and so that's out of bounds directly off of the bad pass from Jones, and it's a turnover to the Mustangs.
And Hardy once again brings the ball up, a much more deliberate pace. Now he picks it up. Down into the corner, launches the tray and drain the rain.
Demir Simon for 3. Mustangs extend their lead to 4, and we've got Tariq Hollinger coast to coast on the layup.
And 15 seconds remaining. Hardy takes the inbound pass, Wekiva possession, and it looks like they're going to set up for that last shot as we're now down to 10. Hardy trying the 6-foot floater, unable to convert. Gets his own rebound though. Simon has to get rid of the shot. 1 second left, and was not aware of the time.
That takes us to halftime. The Mustangs will go into the locker rooms with a 2-point advantage. 17-15 is the score at intermission here in the JV contest of our doubleheader. We'll be back in just a moment. The Mustangs have the opening possession of the second half. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief, and it has been a tale of a swinging pendulum of momentum. Mustangs had the mojo first, then it was Jones, then back to Wekiva, and we've left the first half with a 2-point ball game. 17-15 is the Wekiva lead as Davis gets blocked by the Tigers on his opening attempt. Jumper coming in from Simon takes a couple of bounces off the rim. Isn't going to fall, though. Davis with a third chance basket. Still can't get it to go. Nice hustle on the rebound. Pulls it in for himself. Hardy with a three. That's not going to go. Fifth chance basket for Lewis. That doesn't go. And now finally on the sixth chance, Jalen Felix draws the foul. Called against number 4, Tyrell Anderson. His third personal foul, the team's first of the half. Jalen Felix at the line shooting 2.
Yeah, and at the core of that swinging pendulum, as you mentioned, Mark, is the turnovers. Both teams had a run of turnovers, which allowed the opponent to put together runs. Wekiva, of course, started with a 5-0 run. Jones answered with a 9-0 run, and then Wekiva answered again with a 6-1 run. Neither team has shot the ball particularly well. Jones shooting 7 of 28 in total, 25%. Wekiva a 5 of 22. So they're under 20%. As bad as Jones has shot at 25%, they're still about 8 percentage points better than Wekiva.
Simon thought he had that rebound. Tigers swooped in but weren't able to control it. So here comes opportunity number 7 for those of you counting. Foul is again called against number 4, Tyrell Anderson. That's his 4th personal foul, the team's 2nd. It sends Jalen Felix back to the free throw line, shooting 2 more for the Mustangs.
So your turnovers, again, talked about those turnovers really fueling the runs we had in that first half. Wekiva with 10 turnovers, Jones with 14. Again, 25% shooting for Jones, 18% for Wekiva, as the score is now 19-15.
So with 7 attempts, counting both sides of the first free throw, Wekiva finally extracts 2 points out of that possession. Pick by Davis. Nice pass. Everything was right about that except for the fact that it didn't go in as Simon's shot misses. Rafael Ray on the rebound.
Now, Wekiva did have an advantage in free throws. They were 6 of 12, while Jones with only 1 of 3. As we are now under 7 minutes remaining, and we are going to have a foul, actually a turnover.
Held ball, possession Tigers.
Sit on him, Jameer, sit on him.
And again, Felix tries to swat at the ball and rebound by dribble, and Coach Hardy scolds him for that. I can't count how many times at both the JV and varsity level, both boys and girls, I have heard coaches scream at their players, rebound with 2 hands.
Yep, just like it's the equivalent of a wide receiver's coach in football telling the receiver to catch with 2 hands.
Timeout requested. 30-second timeout. Called by the Tigers.
And so a lot of action in the first minute, 23 seconds, up and down the floor.
Not a lot of points, though, and it's 4 for the Mustangs.
Only 1 point, and when all said and done, your lead is 19-15 in favor of Wekiva. This is the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network.
Welcome back to Mustang Arena. About $1.50 into the third period. Tigers take a 30-second timeout there as Wekiva has dominated nearly all of the time of possession in spite of only getting 2 points out of it. Wekiva, I think, has taken 7, maybe 8 shots. Jones converts this one, though, as Rafael Ray scores the jumper.
Yeah, that cuts the lead to 19-17. A turnover and a quick deuce, should be a quick deuce, and yes, conversion.
Jalen Felix for 2.
For Felix. And just like that, we are tied at 19-19, 2 minutes into the third quarter. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network. So more contact, a loose ball, and a travel on Jones.
Traveling Mustangs ball.
So a bit of an odd play there in the fact that neither team really appeared to have possession of the ball, but the refs disagree, saying Sanchez actually had possession while he was laying on his back and then rolled. This is McCray bringing the ball up. He'll set the offense as we drop under 6 minutes in the third quarter. Simon with the dribble. Now at the top, and Coach Hardy, the Wekiva coach, says let's talk about this upcoming possession. Score is still 19-19.
Full timeout called by the Mustangs. We'll be back in a moment.
We return to action in the third quarter. Wekiva and Jones tied at 19-19. This is the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network.
And we're going to get a foul here as Acion Cobb draws the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot two for the Tigers.
5:30 remaining in the third quarter.
Foul is called against number 2, Jermaine Hardy.
And that is, as Mark called, Acion Cobb wearing the Jones uniform. Of course, Jones in their traditional green uniforms with the orange numbers and trim, and some white in there as well. Wekiva just going with white and maroon. And Wekiva also looking to even the record at 6-6 as Jones goes back in front. The fourth lead change of this game.
And we're going to get a push called, I think, against the Tigers. Foul is called against number 32, Rafael Ray. That's his second personal foul, the team's third. Mustangs ball at the sideline.
So Wekiva maintains possession. This is Jermaine Hardy. He'll take the ball, dishes it off to Davis, who withdraws from the bank.
Hardy to Davis for two.
And that puts Wekiva back in the lead, 21-20, 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And now Wekiva going to a half-court trap, causing all kinds of chaos for Jones. And
held ball, possession, Mustangs. So
and
give Adonis Davis credit for a steal there, causing the tie-up with the possession arrow in his favor.
So Wekiva, an opportunity to re-extend that lead. They're up 21-20 as we hit 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the junior varsity game. Of course, the varsity game between these two teams, Wekiva and Jones, will follow. The dish.
Blocked. Nope, it's going to be a foul. Too much body contact. The arm got the ball, but the rest of the body not so much. Foul called against number 32, Rafael Ray. His third personal foul, the team's fourth. At the line, shooting two, number 23, Jalen Felix.
And so Felix will go to the line with 2 points individually, and Wekiva holding a 21-20 lead. Also, a bit of an oddity. 4 fouls have been committed by Jones already, so certainly keep an eye on that. Wekiva with only 1.
Yeah, and that was Rafael Ray's third foul, so he's going to have to pay attention to that for the rest of the game. We've still got 12 minutes, 45 seconds left to play here, and he's only got 2 more fouls, 1 more to give.
And so with Jones having possession, we'll get a whistle.
Push is called against number 24, Demir Simon. His second personal foul, the team's second. Now, these officials are calling a tight game, but they are calling it evenly.
Jones in the green uniforms inbounds the ball. And that is Fillmore with possession. Hands it off to Sanchez, who drops it down.
All ball on the block for Jalen Felix. It's a no call, and Teddy Hills gets stuffed. Fillmore turning up the jump scare action in the backcourt. Hardy stops and pops for three, but it's an air ball, and the rebound goes to Rafael Ray.
And we come back the other way. Jones with the possession, trailing 21-20, 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. On the right wing, extended. Sanchez again with the ball at the top of the key. He'll reset the offense, giving it back to Hills. Drops the ball along the baseline. No withdrawal from the bank, but doing work and still no withdrawal. But a foul on Wekiva.
No, that's actually a jump. Held ball, possession Tigers.
So 3:41 remaining in the third quarter. Wekiva remains in the lead at 21-20. Obviously a low-scoring game. However, Jones with possession. Kick to the left wing. Dropped off there for Timmons, who hasn't seen much action tonight and certainly looked cold on that shot as he puts up an air ball. And Wekiva now with possession on the other end.
Knocked away by the Tigers. It'll stay with Wekiva. Checking into the game for the Tigers, number 50, Tariq Holliger.
And so Wekiva will inbound the ball. Stop, pop, and drop.
Number 23, Jalen Felix on the inbound from Davis.
And that ups the lead to 23-20. Wekiva in the lead. And a little stop, a juke, no go off the rim. Couldn't find that roll. And Wekiva with some strong rebound, doing work under that board. Crashed it real hard. Out to the corner. Simon drains the rain.
Demir Simon, 4-3 from Jermaine Hardy.
And so just like that, a 1-point lead is now up to 6, 26-20. Wekiva in the lead. Jones with possession of the ball. They are wearing the green uniforms, orange numbers as we drop under 2:40 in the third quarter. The drive. And before we get to the bucket, contact on Wekiva.
Timmons draws the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot two for the Tigers. Foul called against Mustangs. Number 24, Demir Simon, his third personal foul. The team's third. And Timmons shooting two.
So it mentioned that Wekiva certainly had an advantage, not only in terms of free throws converted, where they've gotten their points at the free throw line, but also just the attempts. They had a 12-3 advantage in attempts, and that has continued here in the second half. These are the first two free throws that Jones has attempted. Wekiva's already attempted 4.
Yes, while both teams got into trouble in the first half and to a lesser extent in the second half in terms of fouls, you're right, Neil, that the ones that actually put players at the charity stripe have so far favored Wekiva, but here we're going to get a lane violation. One more shot for Timmons.
Yeah, and again, that was a 5-point differential for Wekiva at the free throw line. Again, not that they're shooting the ball well, only 50%, but they've taken 12 compared to 3. And of course, obviously, logic, as the second free throw is no good and doing work under the board. Unfortunately, unable to hold on to the ball. Ball will be turned back over to Jones.
There we go with more of that 2 hands on the rebound advice for Felix there. Rafael Ray floats it in from the key for 2. That's his 4th point of the game, closes the gap to 4. And the Tigers take it away right at the sideline. A couple of steps and charge. Charge taken by Aaron Preston. And called against the Tigers, number 10, Acion Cobb. His first, the team's 5th. That turns the ball over to the Mustangs.
And so usually when you get a low-scoring game, our score is 26-22, 2:50 remaining in the third quarter. Wekiva in the lead, and they have possession of the ball in the white uniforms. Turnovers are usually a catalyst for those low scores, and certainly that has been the case tonight. As the stop in the
Adonis
move.
Davis gets down the baseline for a Mustang layup.
And Davis with the under-over move. Wekiva ups the lead to 28-22. Jones getting down at the other end and making the withdrawal from the bank.
Timmons to Ray for the Tiger basket.
So speaking of the turnovers, as we almost have another one, not only have we seen a number of turnovers, a high number, but they've come in runs and bunches for both teams.
Tachi Timmons is called on his first personal foul, the team's sixth. Returning to the game for the Mustangs, Jermaine Hardy Jr. Mustangs ball at the sideline. So again, that was foul number 6. You see at the bottom of your screen there, all of the yellow dots are lit up now. And we turn to the red dots. That means that any future fouls for this half will incur a bonus penalty. And there it is. Foul is called against number 5, Dante Fillmore. That's his first personal foul, the team's 7th, and that will put the Mustangs into bonus. At the line, shooting 1-1, number 2, Jermaine Hardy Jr.
So again, I think it's worth mentioning, Mark, and really something that we will keep mentioning as this game continues to progress. Wekiva certainly having an advantage at halftime, 12 attempts to 3, but they did not shoot the ball well, only 6 of 12, and that's going to continue. And that's why I brought it up again. Certainly Wekiva has an advantage in the free throw in terms of points, scoring 5 more at halftime from the free throw line, but they certainly could be even a bigger advantage as they're shooting only 50% in the scoop and the withdrawal for Jones.
Dante Fillmore down the key for 2.
And those points are so important from the free throw line. Wekiva now with a 2-point lead.
Hardy with a little bit of acting there, trying to get another foul called. Doesn't get it, but he does get the basket. Jermaine Hardy Jr. through the paint for 2 on the layup. Now we're going to get a foul at the other end. Foul is called against number 2, Jermaine Hardy Jr. His second, the team's 4th. 58 seconds to go here in the third period. It'll be Tigers ball at the sideline. They trail by 4. It has on the whole been a better quarter for both teams, and perhaps a bit more so for Wekiva, who's largely maintained the status quo since halftime. Down the baseline, good opportunity for a layup, doesn't fall, however, put back, tilts in for Rafael Ray.
And Ray doing work under the board, and he's rewarded with the deuce. Wekiva coming the other way against the full court defense.
Davis can't get it to fall on the layup. Simon tripped and wasn't able to get up there for the rebound. Cobb tries to go coast to coast. That's not there. But Tachi Timmons on a second chance basket to tie the game at 30.
And the
spin. Not there. Too hot on the putback from Felix. Good work in the paint by Davis, but wild putback attempt not going to go. And it's kicked into the backcourt by Wekiva, and they will get called for a backcourt violation.
Jones will take over possession. 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We are tied at 30-30. Jones wearing the orange uniforms with the green uniforms with the orange numbers and white trim.
DeJohn Joyner checks into the game for the Tigers.
And they're looking to take their lead. And from the corner, no go.
And the Mustangs try a one-handed rebound versus a two-handed rebound. You lose that almost every time. And that takes us to the end of the third period. And that makes it a tie ball game. It'll be a new ball game for the final 8 minutes of this JV contest.
So
30-30 is your score at the end of 3 quarters.
So this is the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network.
The Tigers have the opening possession of the fourth quarter. Welcome back to Mustang Arena. Mark Barchi, the voice of the Mustangs, joining you. And I am joined by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief for the last 8 minutes, and really the only 8 minutes that count. Since we've got a tie ball game at the end of three quarters, we're going to start with a foul. Foul called against Mustangs, number 11. His third personal foul, the team's fifth.
So turnovers have been the big story in terms of stats as Jones in the green uniforms keep possession of the ball, looking to break this 30-30 tie. We've seen 4 runs tonight, 2 by each team, and both of those were facilitated by runs coming in, or turnovers coming in bunches.
And the Mustangs finally managed to get a good clean two-handed rebound by Preston, but it's short-lived as Acion Cobb steals 2 for the go-ahead basket.
First turnover of the fourth quarter for Wekiva.
Well, and you're going to pick up 2 here. DeJohn Joyner is called for traveling. Tigers ball, checking into the game for the Mustangs. Number 23, Jalen Felix, and number 24, Demir Simon.
So Jones with 19 turnovers as we begin the fourth quarter, and we're going to get a across the baseline pass and the roll for the Jones Tigers.
Petty Hill from Sanchez for 2.
19 turnovers for Jones, 15 for Wekiva. As we begin the fourth quarter, a little stop pop on the drive to the basket.
Pete Lewis from the paint for 2.
And that cuts the lead to 34-32. Jones with possession now, and they will set up and go to work. Some quick rotation on the perimeter, all the way out to the corner, off the heel of the rim. The shot by Cobb. Preston says, give me that ball, and he tries to go coast to coast and does get rewarded with a pair of withdrawing the foul.
Tiger foul called against number 33, Petty Hills. That's his third personal foul, the team's 8th at the line. Shooting 2 for the Mustangs, number 3, Aaron Preston.
So Aaron Preston at the line with 4 points tonight. And he does get that touch on the first one, on the first free throw, cuts the lead to 1 point.
It wouldn't be a very good diving score, but in basketball, the points all count the same no matter how they get in.
He will not get the second, though, and a tandem of Jones Tigers ripped that ball off the board, doing some Windex work. Now they're facing a double team. Back out to the top, and they rotate it back around to Sanchez, who drops it low. Back up to the top of the key with Sanchez. Down to the wing, and saved right on the baseline by Timmons, who withdraws from the bank.
Petty Hills gets the basket for the Tigers.
So a couple of kind rolls in the early going on that rim for the Tigers. And the lead now for Jones is 36-33.
Foul called against number 5, Dante Fillmore. That's his second personal foul, the team's 9th. That sends the Mustangs to the free throw line. Number 24, Demir Simon. And it looked like they were signaling that that was a shooting foul, so it is going to be 2 shots. And that also means that the Mustangs now are headed into double bonus, so all future fouls, whether they are shooting or not, will be worth 2 free throws.
Yeah, and it's also important to note that not only is Wekiva in the bonus, but they're in the bonus with 6 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. So certainly an opportunity to do some damage at the free throw lines. And at least a good start. Once they got into the bonus, they cut the lead, 36-35.
Returning to the game for the Mustangs, number 4, Kevin Baker.
Jones took the lead on the first possession of this fourth quarter and have held it since. And, whoa, that's a big play.
Dante Fillmore gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. The foul is called against Mustangs number 11, Pete Lewis, his 4th personal foul, the team's 6th.
So Fillmore, the leading scorer for Jones, and actually the leading scorer for the game. with 9 points now, looking to make it 10. And no problem, nice stroke. The big picture, Wekiva trails 39-35, 5:58 remaining. Wekiva looking to even their record at 6-6. They're in the white uniforms with possession of the ball. And not even going to have a chance to set it up. Quick foul.
Foul is called against number 5, Dante Fillmore. That's his third personal foul, the team's 10th. That puts the Mustangs into double bonus. At the line shooting 2, number 4, Kevin Baker.
So mentioned this throughout the second half. Wekiva has definitely drawn an advantage, created an advantage at the free throw line in terms of attempts, and that has given them an advantage in terms of scoring points. However, they're shooting around 50%, so they certainly, while they do have an advantage, but 7 points, it could be even bigger. Now this certainly is going to help the turnover. Great anticipation by Baker. And a nice job of Baker getting that ball to the open man.
I think that was behind the arc, too.
And
foul is called against number 13, Tachi Timmons, his second personal foul. Jermaine Hardy Jr. was behind the arc. He'll go to the line and shoot 3 for the Mustangs.
And you called that one correctly, Mark. Obviously, it's a big opportunity for Wekiva and the chance of getting the ball back, taking a possession away from Jones. But they also will get that third free throw instead of the usual 2. Hardy takes advantage of that, converting the first.
The Tigers narrowly avoid a technical foul by trying to substitute without being waved in. It does kind of confuse the momentum of the game because 3 consecutive free throws are so rare. Tyrell Anderson now does come into the game.
So Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, bringing you live action from Mustang Gymnasium on the southeast side of Apopka, Florida. Jones with possession in the green uniforms. They are up 39-38. It's been a very spirited, very competitive game. 5 lead changes. And a quick acknowledgement to the broadcast production students here who are running our camera and handling the video
Foul is
side.
called against number 3. That's Aaron Preston's first personal foul, the team's 7th.
And
at the line shooting 2 is Yabtil Sanchez. Pete Lewis returns to the game for the Mustangs. So I should point out that we now have 1 player in the game on each side with 4 fouls. Tyrell Anderson for the Tigers, Pete Lewis for the Mustangs.
And the end result of that possession is 1 free throw and a 40-38 lead, which now Wekiva.
Yeah, Hardy to Preston there, that pass. Well, Preston zigged when he should have zagged. Couldn't get there.
So another turnover for Wekiva. Turnovers have been the story of this game in terms of the statistics. And there's one of several you've seen. Sanchez drives the lane and kisses the backboard.
Yabtil Sanchez for 2.
And now Hardy, Wekiva possession, trying to return the favor. Jones gets back quickly on defense as we approach 5 minutes remaining. Lewis out to Baker from the tray.
Not there, tall guy pulls it in, Anderson. And Tigers had an opportunity to make something happen in transition, but I think Anderson may have forgotten that the rest of the players on the court are not as tall as he is. So that was a little overthrown.
Yeah, the 20th turnover for Jones tonight. Of course, Wekiva also has had their problem. They have 16 turnovers as well.
Full court pressure forces Lewis to give up his dribble. He's able to get it away, though, and it does to Kevin Baker from Jermaine Hardy Jr. for 3. That will breathe some life into the Mustangs, who now cut the lead to 1. And nice move into the paint there as Asean Cobb adds 2 for the Tigers.
The finger roll looking like the Iceman for you fans.
Transition opportunity for the Mustangs if they can get around the trouble, and they do. Kevin Baker jumps his way to 2.
So we've seen 4 consecutive possessions ending with points now, Mark. A rarity in this game.
Yeah, I think Anderson probably has 6 inches on Baker, and Baker was able to jump over him. Fetty Hills gets the basket and the chance to make it a 3-point play. The foul is called against Mustangs number 1 to John Joyner. His first personal foul, the team's 8th. Now, another thing that it tends to mean when you see all those little dots at the bottom of your screen like you have in this game with a high foul game, that also tends to mean a longer game. And so we're probably going to be a little delayed with the start of varsity. The JV game would need to end right now in order to stay on time. That's clearly not going to happen. We have 4 minutes left even if the clock never stopped again. So count on the varsity game probably starting about 15 minutes late.
And with that turnover, the 17th for Wekiva, Jones now has an opportunity to get that lead up to 2 possessions. They are up 46-43. Jones inbounds the ball. Sanchez brings the ball up. He'll set up the offense. Try to, at least. Wekiva doing a nice job on defense. But
nice blind pass, but it's stripped away by Felix. So a good move on both teams there. That blind pass, that was beautiful. Didn't convert for the Tigers, though, thanks to some quick thinking by Felix. And that's something that we've kind of seen come in and out from the JV contest, that level of confidence. When it's there, it's beautiful, but we've also seen moments of hesitation that have caused a lot of those turnovers. When your teammate is counting on you to move quickly in a particular way to run the play, but you hesitate from lacking confidence, and then you're not able to get to the pass where it's being thrown, because of course you throw the pass to where you think your player's going to be, not to where they are. That's where we've seen a lot of those turnovers happen tonight, but that was exactly the opposite, where we saw the pass connect perfectly. And now Tyrell Anderson scores from the paint for 2.
Anderson taking the pass and making the withdrawal.
And we're going to get the Mustangs called on the sideline out of bounds. Tigers ball. Excuse me, Mustangs ball.
3:18 remaining. Jones with a 48-43 lead. This is tied for their biggest lead of the game. Wekiva looking to even their record at 6-6 with possession of the ball. It's Baker down to Lewis. He's going to come up to the top, kicks it down low. Bounce pass into
not
Felix.
there for Felix, and the rebound Hills. We're going to get a foul. Foul is called against Mustangs number 3, Aaron Preston, his second personal foul, the team's 9th, and that will put the Tigers into bonus. At the line, shooting 1-1 for Jones, number 33, Fetty Hills.
So with Hills at the line, Jones with an opportunity to extend the lead to the biggest margin tonight. And they will not. Kicks off the heel. And doing
immediately we have a foul.
Joyner going up strong, skying for that rebound. Drawing the foul.
Foul called against number 33, Fetty Hills, his 4th. The Mustangs continue into double bonus to John Joyner at the line, shooting 2.
So Joyner at the line, still looking for his first points, but the bigger picture, of course, an opportunity to cut into that lead. And another opportunity to score points going by the wayside with the missed free throw.
Checking into the game for the Tigers, number 11, Amarian Hall. And now both teams will enjoy double bonus for the rest of the game.
As 2:51 remaining. And now, of course, I talked about free throws at the beginning of this period as the drive by Fillmore ends with a foul being drawn.
Push is called against Aaron Preston, his 3rd personal foul, the team's 10th. At the line, shooting 2 for the Tigers, number 5, Dante Fillmore.
So Wekiva has missed 12 free throws, Mark. And obviously you don't have to be a mathematician, have a degree in math to understand.
If they'd hit half of those, they'd have a tie ball game.
Yes. So that's why I've mentioned and talked about the free throws being missed at the line. Wekiva certainly has had an advantage for most of the game. It has evened out somewhat here in the last 2 to 3 minutes, but that advantage could have been even bigger than what it was, and now you're seeing why Now you're seeing the result of not making an advantage as maximum as big as it should have been. Jones in man-to-man defense. Wekiva with possession. This is Hardy. Bounce pass to Lewis. Down to the corner for Baker, who decides to not drive.
Yeah, barely keeps his dribble. Nice pass. Joyner not able to convert, but second chance basket by Jalen Felix.
Well, Felix doing work under the board and cuts the lead to 50-45. Come back on the other end.
Spin move doesn't go for Cobb. Neither does Anderson's makeup shot, and the Mustangs will get the rebound there.
And now it's been a rather slow pace throughout this game. Certainly picks up there in about that 30 seconds, and Hardy says, let's slow it down and set an offense. Go to half-court offense. Lewis with the drive, lowers the shoulder, withdraws from the bank.
Pete Lewis down the paint for two.
50-47.
That's 8 points for him. Hardy has 9 to lead the Mustangs. And here we're going to get out of bounds. Mustangs ball. So an opportunity here to close that lead. If the Mustangs can pick up a basket here, they can get it to 1 or tied.
And I've talked about turnovers throughout this game. At least statistically, it's the primary story. That was the 21st turnover for Jones. Now, I will say about 3/4 of them have been at least somewhat caused by Wekiva's defense. That was unforced.
And that's blocked by Tyrell Anderson. It'll remain with the Mustangs.
Wekiva down 50-47. 1:25 remaining. Wekiva with possession of the ball in the white uniforms.
Denier Simon returns to the game for Wekiva.
Jones wearing their traditional green. And that's Baker, and he was blocked.
Blocked again, this time by Fillmore.
Hardy with the effort. He comes up with it, but can't keep control. And so unfortunately for Wekiva, great an opportunity given to him, an unforced turnover, and they cannot take advantage of it and cut further into that lead or even tie the game.
Pete Lewis comes back into the game for the Mustangs. Tigers trying to make something happen in transition. Nice pass. Won't convert, though, for Anderson, who tried to shoot over his shoulder without looking there. Maybe too cute by half. Lewis tries to go himself, and he does. Pete Lewis through traffic, earning 2 the hard way for the Mustangs, and the Mustangs will take a 30-second timeout. 30-second timeout called by Wekiva.
And that kiss off the glass cuts the lead to 50-49. We'll be back with the last 1 minute and 1 second. 50-49 is the score. This is the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network. We return to Mustang Gymnasium for the last 61 seconds of this JV action. Wekiva down 50-49. Jones with possession. That's Anderson able to outreach the Wekiva defense and keep the ball in Jones' possession. Anderson again at the top. And now Jones. I don't believe we've seen Jones being this deliberate until now. And it certainly pays off as they will go to the free throw line. Both teams in double bonus.
Foul called against number 23, Jalen Felix, his third personal foul. At the line, shooting 2 for the Tigers. For double bonus, number 4, Tyrell Anderson. Yeah, at this point, the Mustangs really don't have a lot of choice. The Tigers, who have been kind of hit and miss all night with taking care of the ball, have the clock as their friend right now.
Yeah, again, 21 turnovers for Jones. Wekiva certainly struggled themselves with 17. And talked also about the other key stat is the free throws. Wekiva with 26 attempts and only converting 13 of them. Jones, on the other hand, this is only their 12th free throw. So more than a 2-to-1 advantage, and now they have an opportunity to increase that lead at the free throw line.
Yeah, I like that strategy of fouling even with almost a minute left, because Jones has only been marginally better at the charity stripe than Wekiva has been tonight, and they had an opportunity to rebound there. That was their best chance. Once again, Tyrell Anderson taller than everybody else in the room. Too hot on the transition play. We've seen Tyrell Anderson make that mistake a couple of times tonight, and he makes it again.
25 seconds remaining, and we're going to get a timeout. Wekiva trailing 50-49, and when we come back on the Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network, we'll see what Coach Hardy draws up.
Full timeouts requested by the Mustangs. We'll be right back.
Mustang Arena is the site. Neil Fisher, Mark Barchi, 24 seconds remaining. Wekiva trailing the Jones Tiger 50-49. Wekiva with possession, and Hardy aggressive to the lane and draws the foul.
All right, no pressure, but the game may very well come down to these two free throws. Foul is called against Dante Fillmore, his fourth. At the line shooting two, Jermaine Hardy Jr.
50-49 is the score. Jones has led since the first possession of the fourth quarter. We've seen a good competitive game, 8 lead changes throughout, and now Jermaine Hardy with an opportunity to put Wekiva in the lead.
All right, so can't put it in the lead now, but it's the second one is going to be critical for tying the game.
Yeah, so now Hardy is shooting to tie the game with 16.8 seconds remaining.
Failing that, of course, Wekiva would also take a miss and a putback.
Wekiva only 13 of 26 from the line. Of course, now they're 14 of 28.
All right, 16.8 seconds, new ball game, 50-50.
Jones with possession in the green uniforms. Wekiva on defense in the white uniform. Almost
Nearly
had a
taken
steal.
away by Davis, and it is almost taken away by Preston, and now we're going to get a foul, and the Mustangs have a chance to go to the line and win the game.
Wow.
Foul is called against number 5, Dante Fillmore. That's his 5th personal foul, and he retires from the game with 12 points for the Tigers. At the line, shooting two for double bonus, Aaron Preston. All right.
So Preston at the line with 5 points and the biggest point of the night as he gets the roll. So
the Mustangs request their final timeout of the game, full timeout called by Wekiva.
And so when we will return, Aaron Preston will be at the line, shooting to increase that lead to 51-50 is your score. 9.7 seconds left. Wekiva Mustangs Athletic Network. And we return for the last 9.7 seconds remaining. Wekiva at the line. That's Preston, 51-50 lead. And Jones will take over possession. You could hear the crowd oohing in disagreement.
That was a quick whistle, and it goes to Jones.
So Preston makes 1 of 2 to break the tie. Wekiva up 51-50. Jones with possession.
And a tip and a pick by Adonis Davis.
The foul.
All Wekiva needed to do there was just hold the ball and draw the foul. 0.9 seconds have all but assured victory for Wekiva. Foul called against number 23, Abtil Sanchez. His first. At the line, shooting double bonus, number 21, Adonis Davis. So yeah, he would have to miss. I don't even know how you would make this happen. He'd have to miss both of them, and then Jones would have to tip at the length of the court.
They'd have to gain control while moving in possession and leaning forward towards their basket. But the story now with Davis at the line is some sloppiness by Jones and some great anticipation by Jones. And, well, Davis trying. I think he just wanted to hit the rim there.
Yeah, I think he misunderstood what Coach Hardy wanted.
Yeah.
Because if you don't hit the rim.
So now Jones does have an outside shot.
And it's short. That takes us to the end of the ball game. And we were treated to a great JV contest. 52-50 is the final score in the JV program. And that takes us to the end of the ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much for coming out to support your Mustang and Tiger athletes. Thanks also to those of you who joined us online on YouTube or the NFHS network. We'll be live once again in about 15 minutes with coverage of the varsity contest here at Mustang Arena. We hope you'll join us for that as well.